Alright guys, what's up? Today I'm going to teach you about your basic offensive formations and what the people in that formation are meant to be doing. I wanted to start with offense because I myself am very offensive minded. I like it because it's like a game of chess almost. So I have my friend Dux here with me. He also co-hosts this channel with me, so you'll be seeing a lot of him. So we're going to start with your offensive line, which are the 5 guys up front. So first you have your center, right? He's right here. Is the guy labeled C. Basically his main job, is to take the ball, right, from here all the way back to the quarterback, and we'll get into the quarterback in a second. His job is to get the ball to the quarterback and then go after one of these defensive guys. Now, these other guys, the guards that are labeled G right here, there's 2 of them. Now, the guard doesn't have to be as physically fit or capable of running or chasing. Really, none of these guys have to. Their main job is to block these guys, which would be like right in front of them almost, from getting all the way here to the quarterback. Because in all reality, no one wants their quarterback hurt, because he's the main focus, the main draw of the offense. Nothing can happen without him. And again, I'll get to him in a second. What the guard is there to do is basically just plug almost. So like I said, there'll be about, normally there's about 4 guys here, so there'd be 1 in here, 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here. Or depending, there might be 1 here and here, right outside the 2 tackles. These guys are basically the foundation of the offense. Without them, nothing really works, because then your quarterback is just getting torn to shreds by the defense, right? So these guys are very much so a stronghold of the offense. Nothing happens without them. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So you have your center, right? We explained him. He's going to give the ball to your quarterback, who's labeled QB. What's your quarterback's going to do? He's like basically the buffer, if that makes any sense. He's the transportation. He's not the guy trying to get to work, but he's the car. Okay? So what the quarterback's job is he's either going to hand the ball to the halfback, or he's going to throw the ball to the wide receiver. His focus a lot of the time is going to be his throwing, and also his footwork and his handoffs, because those are the main things about getting the ball to whoever, right? So if he wants to get the ball out to the wide receiver over here, he's going to have to throw it, and he's going to have to throw it good, because let's face it, there would be a guy here covering him, here, and also here. So there's, it's normally a decent matchup, and there's also normally a safety way back here. So he has to throw the ball accurately to where the defenseman can't get it, but the receiver can get it. He also has to judge who's open, who he thinks could make a play. So for instance, if this wide receiver right here is getting double covered, there'd be 2 men on him, and generally that's going to leave this guy open. He's not going to have anyone, or it's going to leave this guy open. Someone's not going to be covered, because there's 2 guys compensating for this guy right here. So he has to quickly drop back when he's doing his throws, and he's going to have to quickly within about, I would say, 3.5 seconds, he's going to have to get that ball off to somebody. I know they're all labeled WR, which would stand for wide receiver, but only 2 of these guys are actually wide receivers.
They're on the outside?
Yes. The guys farthest away from the quarterback, farthest away from the ball, okay? Now these guys are going to be the guys that generally get long passes, or they're going to have ones that'll drag them out to the sidelines, because, they're already there. And these are normally the guys that are speedy with extremely reliable hands. So these guys have to be quick. They have to be able to get away from the defenseman on their booty. And sometimes they'll come in and block for their slot back, Which brings me to my next point. These two guys, the ones closest to the inside that are also labeled wide receiver for some reason, are not actually wide receivers. They're what we call slot backs. So what these guys are going to have to be able to do, right? Their position, although it's quite similar to the wide receiver, it is not necessarily the same. These are the guys that are going to have to be able to make moves, like funky little moves. Now we call them slot backs, right? I don't understand why it's called a slot back. However, like these guys are called wide receivers because they're out wide. They're not close to the play. They're not that close, right? We try to differentiate between these two because in a lot of plays you're going to have specific words to who's getting the ball. So for example, a slot back screen, right, would be one where the slot back runs to the line, and again that's where your linemen are. And then he's going to come back, stand here, and get a pass from the quarterback and then run forward. Okay? But there's also the same play but for a wide receiver, right? So that would be a wide receiver screen. So if we were to just call wide receiver and both of these guys were called wide receivers, could you imagine how confusing that would get? Right? Like, nobody would understand what they're supposed to be doing and who's supposed to be blocking and who's supposed to get the screen, right? Now we're going to go into detail about your running back. Your running back has a lot of jobs. He's the one that's going to get all of the handoffs from the quarterback, okay? So when we talked about the quarterback needing quick feet to be able to hand off stuff to people, generally it's going to be your running back. And there's a lot of ways you can line this guy up. There's a lot of things he can do from getting the handoff. He's mainly going to be a very quick guy. At the same time as being quick, he's also got to be beefy. So he's got to be big enough that he can get through multiple men and run. So you're already running past 4 guys on this line, right? And then you got another 3, and then you got another 1 way up here, okay? Otherwise, what your running back can do is when there's a passing play, the quarterback will say, okay, block this guy to the running back. Let's say there's a guy out here that the quarterback has been getting hit by all day. He knows this guy's struggling a little bit. So he's going to send the running back over here all the way to help with this guy, so he's got a double team on him. Your running back is useful for a lot of things. So he's useful for what football terms would call misdirection. He's also useful for helping protect your quarterback. Now there's one more thing that this guy can do besides misdirection, running, and protecting your quarterback. This guy can also run routes. So routes are what we call patterns that the wide receivers and the slots are going to run for their quarterback so their quarterback knows where they're going and can throw the ball more effectively. So your running back is useful in many ways. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say about the offense. Do you kind of get everything, Dux? Any questions?
Nah, pretty much, Scott. You did a good job explaining it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, good.